What's up, y'all? Back with another video. It's good to be back. Finally feeling a little bit better, or better than last time, and yeah, putting out another banger for you guys. Today I was talking to having a conversation with a couple buddies of mine. Most of us are ex-military or ex law enforcement, and there's a couple EDC slash gun or 2A points, facts, talking points that get tossed around as facts that I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about today. That first point, I'm going to go straight to it, is capacity. Capacity matters. And I know some people are going to disagree with me, but the idea of walking outside of the house with a mag that has 10 rounds or less is insane to me. I just don't think that's prepared enough or ready enough. Maybe at some point in time there was a time where people were fine, where people were carrying, pocket Rugers and revolvers and all this other stuff. But we live in a time where criminals and people who are doing criminal like things are carrying good shit. They're carrying shit with, capacity. They're carrying high capacity rifles and switches and all sorts of firepower. So to me, leaving the house, stepping outside of the house with a firearm that has 10 rounds or less is kind of negligent, in my personal opinion. Most people, and the argument will be that, oh, well, you can carry an extra mag. Listen, most people do not train enough to supplement their lack of capacity with extra mags. And what I mean by that is, do you dry fire enough? Do you live fire enough? How often do you practice your tactical reload? Because to depend on your extra magazine means you're also depending on your training. You're depending on your ability to do a fast, quick tactical reload under pressure, under stress, and be able to do it in a way that you'll be able to defend yourself and, come out on top in whatever situation. To me, most people are not training enough to be able to comfortably rely on that. That's the first part. Secondly, most people underestimate their ability to miss. So, you have 8 rounds, you have 10 rounds, unless you're John Wick and you're hitting every shot, you're going to miss some of those. I mean, I don't know. You may not miss any at all, but most people underestimate their ability to miss. Most people are not practicing live fire under stress, under pressure. They're not. And what I mean by that is, with your adrenaline pumping, sweating, you're under stress, you're panicking, you don't know what's going on, there's chaos. Most people do not train like that and do not have the ability to train like that. And they don't train enough. So I just don't like the idea of depending on backup mags to justify walking outside of the house with 10 rounds or less. Now, deep concealment is a thing. I get it. There's some places you can't have a firearm or gun or whatever, and you need to deep conceal. But in my opinion, those situations aren't that prevalent for most people. Now, I don't know your right situation. I don't know your job or anything like that. But I will say that to leave the house with 10 rounds or less and depend on mags is crazy to me. So that's the first one. Capacity matters. And I just, even with which by the way, I got my 43X. Guns are always unloaded, but I got my 43X. The fact that Glock thought it was okay to ship this gun 10 rounds or less is insane to me, which is why I carry shield mags, but it just doesn't sit right with me. It just doesn't. So capacity matters. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And I know people try to get, they'll get on videos and they'll say, you can carry an extra mag and this, that, and the third. By the points I made earlier, most people are not training their tactical reloads enough. Most people are not training under stress enough to comfortably say that, yeah, I'll be all right with a backup mag. So keep that in mind. Number 2, little guns, pocket pistols, micro pistols, whatever you want to call them, they fucking suck. They suck. They are not comfortable to shoot. They suck to shoot. They're snappy, or whatever you want to call it. They're flippy. gun is smaller, so under stress, there's a lot more room for error. Meaning, the it's a when you're shooting a full size gun or a gun that's bigger than one of those pocket pistols, micro pistols, whatever, there's a lot more space and there's more room for error because you're a lot more comfortable grip, etc., etc. With smaller guns, there's a lot more room for error. Again, if you think that you'll do just fine with your pocket pistol, I recommend you go to one of those ranges where you can do tactical reloads and training and all that. And you grab your gun, you point it in a set direction, probably up in the sky or whatever, and you do 5 suicides. You do 5 suicides, and then you shoot targets and see how you do. Do 10 suicides. Get your blood running, get your blood pumping to see how you would do with your adrenaline up. I guarantee you it's a very different scenario than going to the range and just shooting at targets, just sitting, standing still, and no pressure, no stress, no anything. So, and then lastly, they're not easy to shoot. Period. It takes a little bit more. Now, with training, yes, they can become easy to shoot. It can become second nature to you, yes. Again, for the average person, in my opinion, pocket pistols, they suck. They suck to shoot. Listen, I watch a lot of footage for self-defense shootings, for mass shootings, all that. All the mass shootings that have happened in the US in the last 5-10 years, I've seen the security footage. I've seen every angle of the security footage. When the Uvalde shooting happened, I saw every angle. It was painful to watch. I watched every angle, every footage I can get my hands on. And I like to pay attention to what the police are doing. I like to pay attention to what the civilians are doing. I pay attention to what everybody is doing, and I try to learn from it. What could they have done better? What could this person have done better? And I just can't see myself in a situation like the mall shooting or the Lakewood, Texas shooting that happened recently, having to defend myself and my family with a micro pistol, with a pocket pistol. I just don't feel comfortable. Not because I don't train enough with them, just because I rather have a full size gun or a bigger gun to defend myself. So that's just my opinion. A lot of people would disagree with that, but in my opinion, the situations that are happening in this country are not the same situations that were happening 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Completely different situations. People used to carry guns for, the muggings and the most self-defense shootings happening under 3 feet, under 5 feet, whatever. Yes, that still may be the case for stuff like that, but there's a lot more happening than just muggings and just that. There's carjackings are through the roof, home invasions through the roof, mall shootings, club shootings, shopping mall shootings, road rage, just a lot happening at a lot higher pace, and with people that have more capacity, more firepower than ever before. And I don't feel comfortable, going out there with, a pocket pistol. So there's a time and place for those type of guns in my arsenal. When I'm doing yard work and I'm outside with the kids, or, run to the park, down the street, stuff like that. But if I'm going anywhere further than 5 minutes or anything like that, I'm just not carrying those little guns with me. It's just not happening. So again, that's just me. And that's something that you may have to think about and address and figure out if it fits your lifestyle, if it fits you as a person. Number 3, that made in China campaign in the gun community and the 2A community is a bunch of bullshit. I wouldn't pay attention to any of that shit because people are very selective about that. The selective outrage is insane. Not only that, there's a little bit of classism there, brand whores, label whores. There are a lot of people that I see on Reddit that are shitting on other people over brands and stuff. They just like to make themselves feel better because they spent a lot of money on something. It's like high school. This is another thing people can cling on to make themselves feel good. It's got kind of like that iPhone versus Apple thing, this classist thing. It's stupid. It's a bunch of bullshit. Is there cheap Chinese stuff? Sure. But those same people are typing these ridiculous comments on Reddit while they're at a stop sign or at a stoplight in their Hyundai, Honda, or their, whatever foreign Asian car, on a phone, most likely an Apple iPhone that was put together and made with little Chinese hands. So I wouldn't pay attention to any of that bullshit. If you're a new gun person, you're new into guns, don't pay attention to any of that brand stuff, the Chinese stuff. Most of the shit is made in China. 99% of the stuff is made in China. There's a very few gun companies that make and assemble their stuff in the US. So don't listen to these people. Buy what works for you, buy what works for your budget, buy what works for your style, and train with it. Don't listen to any of that crap, because there's a lot of selective outrage and the argument just doesn't make sense anymore. Just doesn't make sense. 4, concealed carry insurance is bullshit. Don't even bother wasting your money. It's a bunch of bullshit. I'm not going to go into big detail about concealed carry insurance and all that, but you should definitely, I strongly recommend you look into it. But my opinion, if you can afford it, the best thing you could do is probably find the best lawyer in your area, for 5 to 10K ish retainer, and go that route. That's my personal opinion. That's the route I go. I don't like the idea of an insurance company whose their sole purpose is to not pay out and make as much money as possible for them and their shareholders to be the people that I'm depending on when shit does hit the fan. Because we see what happens with cars, we see what happens with houses, we see what happens with rentals. Why would it be any different with guns? And it's been proven that it isn't any different. So, go the lawyer retainer route, or find a reputable law firm, company, program, whatever, that you pay a monthly fee to have access to lawyers to help you out. I'm not going to name any companies. Do your own research, but that's also a great route to go. So 4, carry insurance, EDC insurance, whatever you want to call it. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a money grab. It's a scam, in my opinion. Just stay clear. And then lastly, and this one's going to ruffle a lot of feathers, but your fear of printing says more about you and your relationship with your firearms than it does about anything else. A lot of people are so scared of printing and all this other stuff. I've been telling a lot of people that I stopped carrying micro pistols, pocket pistols, whatever, and I'm carrying bigger guns. And one of the first questions I get asked is, aren't you afraid of printing? No, hell no, I'm not afraid of printing. We got people walking outside, women walking outside butt ass naked, see-through dresses, titties out, ass out. We got people doing insane amounts of stuff out there. You got people girls want to be boys, boys want to be girls. We got all sorts of stuff. I saw a dude that had like 1 billion piercings on his face at like a store not too long ago. Like, people are doing whatever they want. And you're afraid of printing? People do not give a shit. I promise you, people don't give a shit. Don't be afraid of printing. If you're afraid of printing, again, it says more about your relationship with your firearms, more your relationship with guns than anything else. I used to be afraid of printing when I first started in my journey with guns. But at the time, I didn't have enough hours, I didn't have enough training, I didn't have enough confidence to feel comfortable with the whole idea of printing. And I think that comes with time. But I just wanted to remind folks out there, if you're new into the industry, you're new into the hobby and all that, printing is okay. People don't give a shit. You print other things all the time. Your phone sometimes prints. Your belt buckle sometimes prints. Stuff prints, and people never say, oh my God, is that a gun? Oh my God, that guy might have an AK-47 in his pants. I promise you, that's not what's happening in most of people's minds. So, and everybody got a gun on them these days. So last thing people are thinking about. So just wanted to talk about those points real quick. I see people talk about these things all the time, and I wouldn't call it debunking, but just want to give my thoughts on those points there and see what you guys thought about that. What do you guys think? The biggest thing I will say is the whole capacity and the pocket pistols thing. I mean, I can't justify leaving the house with anything less than 14, 15 rounds, in my opinion. But you let me know in the comments what you think. I've noticed a lot of people shifting their EDC, their carrying habits, I guess you can say. And, as we're all growing older, wiser, and we're learning more and more, and we'll make adjustments. And one of my adjustments was no pocket pistols, no micro pistols, no low magazine or capacity guns, and that's how I'm gonna carry from now on. It's a lot of bad shit happening going on in the world right now. There's a lot of bad shit going on in this country. The elections are coming up. It's gonna get even worse. So stay safe out there. Go train. Go do live fire, dry fire. Make sure you try to train and do scenarios where your adrenaline is up. Run around, get yourself sweating, see how that firearm actually does in your hands, and I hope that you can make adjustments so that everything that you're carrying, whatever you decide to carry, works just right for you. So appreciate you guys watching this video. Plenty more coming this year. Stay safe, pay your taxes, don't forget to recycle, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.